welcome to our next episode of Sit for a Spell. I think it's episode 17. Don't quote me on that. Could be 16. It's been a while. I apologize for the delay. I've been exceptionally busy both in my personal and professional life, so I haven't had an opportunity to film. But today, the project I'd like to show you is how to protect and ward your house or your place of business. This is my shop. You guys have probably seen it on other videos. If you watch my tarot videos and the other things that I do, you've probably seen it. And I need to renew the wards on here. I've had some thieves in here lately. Not smart. Never steal from a witch. So, but obviously this tells me I need to renew all my wards. So that's what I'm doing today. Now, first, before you start warding a place, make sure that you've cleared out all the negative energy that was in there before. There's a couple of different ways to do this. The most popular in North America is using sage and smudging with a feather. I'll show you in a second, actually. Right, this here is a sage bundle. It's just sagebrush. It grows wild all over this area in the Okanagan where I live and most of North America. Normal feather will work. Traditionally they use an eagle feather, but there are laws against owning those if you are not of Native heritage in Canada anyway. This is a smudging fan that I've made. It's just a little, prettier. And you put this traditionally in an abalone shell. That's those big shells with the sparkly mother of pearl stuff in the inside. But you can use any heat-resistant bowl, like this onyx bowl is what I typically use. And you put it in there and you burn it, and you clear all the space. You start from the very back of your building and you work to the very front. We're also going to do this with the warding, so that's something that I will show you. Make sure you get all the dark corners, underneath tables, inside cupboards, especially anywhere that clutter tends to collect, or cobwebs, because that's an indication that there's blocked energy in that area. So, we've done all that. Saves us a little time in our work today. Right? Then, other ways to do it. Using rue in a wash or having burned it is also effective. If you're of a voodoo or hoodoo tradition, you can also use something called Florida water. There's a bunch of different recipes. You can find them online. Traditionally, they tend to contain patchouli, rose, St. John the Conqueror, a couple of different things, right? And you can use them in different combination. Any of them are effective if you feel drawn to it. It's all the same idea. The point is your intent. And it's just water with these oils in it or these herbs, and you sprinkle them around, and or take some in your mouth and spit it out, blow it between your teeth. I'm not very good at that. I'm working on that. Another thing you can do is you can burn a dark incense that contains storax or myrrh or dragon's blood. Storax clears negative energy, myrrh kind of mitigates it, and dragon's blood actively fights it, so it's all in what kind of energy you want to bring in. Burning black candles also gets rid of negative energy, so different ways you do it. Then you have to bring in positive energy. We've already done this too. Florida water will do that. Lavender, burning lavender, frankincense. That's why the traditional temple incense, by the way, is frankincense and myrrh. Myrrh gets rid of the negative energy. Frankincense brings in the positive energy. I don't know what else. Rose oil. I might burn cinnamon here in order to encourage, well-being and health. Right? So you do that either immediately after you've banished. Oh, white candles is another thing, and Reiki symbols. So you can either bring that in right after you've banished, or you can wait until after you've done your wards and then do it. Sweetgrass, burn sweetgrass braids. I'll show you that too. also does that. That's a traditional North American remedy. You use that, you burn it just like a sage bundle, you wave it around, and that's why it brings in positive energy. Cedar, used in a smudge, is protective, so you might also want to consider that. Okay, so now that we've done all this, we're going to do our wards. So I wanted to mention this stuff first. This is a custom smudge mixture that I made to banish thieves because I had some shoplifters in here today. It contains little bits of sage, which you can see, this is the silver gray stuff here. That's not the culinary sage, by the way. That is sage brush. I believe I've been specific about that. It also contains rowan twigs, that's protection. Mistletoe, also protection. Mugwort is to banish negativity and drive out evil. Right? And the black stuff in here is the storax bark I've mentioned. And what you do, I might as well show you that. You don't have to buy sage bundles in order to smudge. You can just use the crumpled sage like this, and you pinch it into a little line. This won't work as well because I have twigs in it. And then what you do is you light the line on the top, and then it'll just slowly burn down. And don't get too close to the flame like I did because that hurts. And you just waft the smoke around with that feather that I showed you. Because this was specifically to protect against thieves, when it was done smudging the store, I put it out my front door and I left it there until it was done. It didn't take much. Wards. When warding, what you need to do is you need to create a protective barrier around all entrances and exits to your house or your business. This includes drains, air vents, doors, windows, mirrors, places there used to be openings, like say there was a chimney in the kitchen and then it was rebuilt so that there's a range stove in there where the chimney needs to be warded. Right? Your telephone line, your internet connection, right? Because these are different ways in which something, be it physical, spiritual, mental, or emotional, enters and leaves your building. So, Steve is filming today. He's going to follow me through as I do this. Now, what you need is a little water, clean water, and a little bit of salt. And this is how you're going to make holy water. This is something, I'm going to show you a Wiccan blessing. And you bless the salt, then you bless the water, and then you carry it around and you make protective symbols with the salt and water on those entrances and exits. Focusing your intent to keep out all negativity as you do so. Okay, so here is the blessing. It goes like this, and you start by, you will be drawing a banishing pentagram. You guys have to know this by now if you've been following this particular vlog. Start in the bottom left-hand corner, go to the top. Bottom right, upper left, upper right, bottom left. That's a banishing pentagram. So, you say, "Blessed be this creature of salt. May all impurities be banished therein." And you draw either 1 or 3 banishing pentagrams. Many people ask me, do you have to use a particular type of salt? The answer is no. Any type of salt will work. Simple table salt, coarse sea salt, Himalayan salt, just not black salt, because black salt, if you find it, generally contains impurities. It has to be a pure white salt. But it can be a natural unbleached ivory colored salt or whatever. It's all fine. The coarseness is not relevant. It's really all what you feel drawn to. If you think that table salt is too chemical, don't use it. You spoon 3 portions of that salt into the water with your athame, or your finger, or a spoon, or whatever. You can also use your finger for this if you don't have an athame. This is a little wooden athame I have for sale in the shop that I'm borrowing because I left my athame at home. you say, blessed be this creature of water, may all impurities be banished therein. And then you draw the banishing pentagrams again. Now, using either your athame, or your finger, or a little sprig of herbs, which traditionally would be rue or vervain, you go around and you bless and draw a protective symbol over any entrance or exit into the building. So follow me, we'll head to the back.
Okay.
So welcome to my cramped little bathroom in the back of my store. This is important to illustrate. I have a bunch of different, very unusual openings here. I have a drain. I have another drain. I have a mirror over here. This is also an opening here, if you wouldn't mind. There, Steve, I told you you're going to have to move that around. Yeah, see, and this thing is sort of, I think it used to be an air vent and it's been blocked off and weatherproofed, and all of this needs to be warded. So, we're going to start with the toilet bowl. And the first thing you do is you dip your athame or your finger into the blessed water and you draw a protective symbol, which for me is a banishing pentagram surrounded by a circle, pentacle, a seal, a ward. You can also use crosses, you can use Om symbols, you can use Reiki symbols, you can use the symbol of Mjolnir, the Awen symbol, whatever strikes you as a protective symbol. But you make sure you do this on each and every single entrance or exit into your building. Now backing up here, because I gotta move through, I have a fuse box here. I'm going to actually also ward the fuse box because electricity comes in and out of here, so it's an energy exchange spot. Up here I have a couple of windows. I also have a vent over there. You see that pipe up there? That's a vent. And there's also a trap door in the ceiling up there. This is an old building. It's a wonderful example. It's why we chose the store. This particular area connects me to my neighbor. Make sure your doors are completely covered when you do the warding. Should I do the basement, do you think, or should I just ward it off?
Just ward it off.
Okay. So make sure your symbols are big enough to do that. Now, in here, I have a vent down here. I have a mirror. Now, when you've got a paned mirror like this, I do like the whole thing, but I also do each individual pane. It's my personal thing. I don't know if that's traditional. It's just what I feel is appropriate. Over here, do we have any vents underneath here? I'm pretty sure we've got one somewhere back here. Oh, right, it's over there. Okay, so there's a vent back here on the floor. Drop my athame. I've got my butt bending over. Good. Okay. It's only for my boyfriend. No, okay. My hubby, rather. Okay, yeah. These mirrors are all areas that need to be warded. There is a vent back here. This is an interesting one. Above these panels, which is a drop ceiling, there is actually an old-fashioned skylight. I found this out about 3 years ago when somebody came in through the skylight and ripped me off. So that was nice. But anyway, and that's when I did another one of these big wardings, which is probably why this is overdue. It's long. It's about the length of the Reiki table, if not bigger. So I make sure that I do the whole thing. The little squeaky one is my friend Annery's son. So please excuse if he is kind of noisy. This used to be a fireplace, obviously. So it needs to be blessed, and so does this, which was the chimney outlet. There's a vent back under here. This is a mirror here. I also tend to use any really reflective surface like those glass bits back there. Oh, and I almost forgot, that's good. Always go back. You see there are mirrors in this cabinet. Don't forget this stuff, it's important. And a reset will be okay. Okay, so the crisis has been averted. So, now, if you're not sure, always go back over something. I don't remember if I boarded this mirror or not, so I'm going to make sure to do it. I was thinking, did I do that when I went through? There's a mirror here. Oh, and special things. Now I'm going to pass right by the camera. Right over here, hiding behind this plant. You see that? That's a fairy door. I created that specifically to welcome in the fae here. Well, actually, my mother created it. But you need to ward that too. It's a separate door from the window. Now, what else have I got? Okay, yes.
There's mirrors in the bottom here.
Yes, the mirrors in the bottom. Thank you. I almost forgot them. Okay, yeah, because all mirrors. The reason why is because they're entrances and exits to the astral plane, and you need to ward against entities. Now up here, there is a big vent that goes to the outside, and it needs to be warded. This sensor, which is for my, there's a sensor on the wall up there, that's the white thing that's sticking out. It's for my security company. It needs to be protected too. And then I always make sure to get these vents out here as well. You can see there are vents here. And I do those, and that also, there's speakers up above those, so that helps too. The very, very, very last thing you do is the front entrance and exit. And by front entrance and exit, I mean the one you use most often. So if you actually go out the side door of your house, that's the one you finish with. And that's why we started with the back. This last one, now what I'll do is I'll draw a protective symbol on the doorway coming in and the doorway going out. So you must step across that in order to come into my business. And then last of all, you do a great big seal. You say, all hostile entities and those of negative intent are not welcome in here. Only those who come in perfect love and perfect trust may enter, and all who do so are welcome. By the power of 3 times 3, as I will, so mote it be. And that is the end of our lesson for warding for today. As usual, if you have any questions, comments, or ideas for future episodes, please leave them in the comments section or contact me on Facebook. Thanks for joining us. Merry